Just looking at my
Yeah.
Dragon Emperor that was in pieces before James decided to step on it.
Did you
I've
step
still
on
got
it?
one of the shields in my pocket.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Gollum's Gamers podcast. So today we are doing another one of our event preview episodes. It's for the upcoming GBHL 100 event that is going on in Swindon. It is Contest of Champions. It's at 650 points. There's roughly 50, 60 players going. There's not many of us going. Just Ash and Sam are going on the call. But as it's a GBHL 100, lots of points on the line for the league standings and that sort of thing. So we're going to take a look at lots of the lists that are going. We don't have all the stats today like we usually would, but we're going to have a good look at lots of the lists.
We got Longshanks, which is even better.
They're all on there. So I'll even put a link in the description if anyone is interested to go and check out all the lists that are there. It'll take you to the Longshanks page. But we are joined today by a very special guest from Any Heroics, the second Any Heroics member to join us on the podcast. It is the artisan of Middle Earth, potentially. It is Mr. John Partridge. John, welcome to the podcast.
Thanks for having me on. Long time listener, first time caller. Your babblings are very good at keeping me awake on my drive home from work.
That's
late
good.
at night.
That's
so
good. We're doing a good cause for the community. But yeah, we're gonna have a look at all the lists and see what we think of the sorts of things that are going. So we are starting off with a list from Dan Hawkins. He is taking a Serpent, Horde and Corsair alliance. So for the audio listener, it is led by Dalamir, of course. He's leading 8 Corsairs with Spear, another 2 with Shield, and 5 Arbalisters. He's got Black Numenorean Marshal with Armored Horse and Lance, who's leading 5 Corsairs with Spear, 4 Arbalisters, and just 1 Black Num. And then from the Serpent Horde part, he's taken Suladan, of course, with 6 Haradrim Warriors with Bow and Spear, 3 Serpent Riders, and 6 Merchant Guard, the fatties. So for a total of 43 models, it is 42 on Longshanks, but I triple checked and it is 43. So Corsairs and Serpent Horde, not something you see too much these days, but is it good at 650? What do we think?
yeah, it's a bit glass cannony, right? Corsairs. I've never actually played Corsairs, but
So a lot of them
they're pretty
a
low.
lot of them are all
low
D3
defense.
there.
Yeah.
Coming up against 9 crossbows is pretty unfun.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
The other bows as well, 15 bows
15
total, because he's got 6 Haradrim.
Right, I see.
Yeah.
I mean, the Black Numenorean Marshal with a lance can do a lot of
That's pretty
damage.
Yeah.
He's fight 5. D7?
Yeah.
Strength 4 with a lance. So
Fight 5.
he's packing a punch to stuff like Black Numenorians or other D6 models that you can just run in, fight 4, run over. I think do we know who his leader is? Is it Saladin?
It's
Dalamir.
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 43 models
Okay,
as
so
well.
that's-
Is also on the higher side as well.
Is Dalamir the
Yeah,
guy
40
that can throw the smoke bomb?
Yeah.
Grant
God,
wants
please
to
don't get us
make,
started back on that.
John totally knew that was the
Throwback.
box he was
If
opening.
you've watched this video, comment below.
God, I'm triggered.
John with the...
If
Love
you
it.
also think smoke bomb should be a 1+ instant kill on any model, like Sam,
Leave a like.
comment below.
So I guess a thing that is relevant for a lot of these lists, because the last and potentially most important game of the tournament
Haven't even mentioned. Yeah.
is always going to be Contest of Champions per the rules pack. This list in contest maybe might struggle depending on what it's up against.
He's obviously
Kind
felt
of-
he can do it. Go on, Ash.
Just following up on what John just said, we should reiterate that you get a additional TP for each enemy leader that you kill throughout the course of the 6 games. So if it's, 3 for a win or 5 for a win?
5 for a win, 3 for a draw, 1 for a loss.
So 5 for a win. So effectively, if you kill all 6 leaders and there's 6 games, you effectively win 7 games or get 7 games worth of TP. So it is important to be able to kill enemy leaders. Does this list kill enemy leaders? Not really. I mean, you could get lucky and shoot it, but it's not necessarily going to happen.
I just guess maybe he's wanting to do his best to not give away those TPs. Obviously, everyone is, but he's got a leader at 90 points that he can just sit back, and he's maybe not too worried about, doing too much with him, and he keeps those TP safe. So
Yeah, that's true. He's got Stalk Unseen, so it does make him difficult to target. Whether or not it's got too much killing power, all strength 3.
So,
I
Sam,
guess
you
the
played,
African Guard are strength 4, aren't they?
Yeah.
So.
Sam, you played Corsairs quite a lot. What do you think?
Yeah, it's I like the Black Numb Marshal because it's. I mean, you either take a Corsair Captain with a crossbow at 55 points, or you take this guy. I think he's 75 or 85.
He's quite expensive with a horse.
Yeah, I think he's 75, or maybe 80, somewhere along those lines. But the lance is definitely very nice, and the terror. I mean, if he had, I feel like it just make more sense if you took Black Numbs.
Yeah, when I first looked at the list, I thought it was just going to be Black Numbs, and then I saw
Yeah.
one, and I was like, oh.
Then, like, obviously, you kind of want to have a Wraith if you got Black Numbs. I mean, they're still good with just on their own.
Yeah.
But
They are definitely less good without Harbinger, though.
yeah, that's maybe a few of them.
What's Dan's front line going to be in this? Are the Arbalasters the guys with the big shields?
Yeah, well, it'll be the 6 merchant guards guaranteed, and then
I guess Arbalasters front rank.
They're only D6 against shooting, so they
potentially, yeah. But when you get
are they
D3 in combat, so
D3 in combat,
if you lose fights, they are dead. They're like a ranger or whatever.
Corsair, yeah.
It's a really static line as well. Like if he's having to hide behind these crossbows, he obviously has to either pick between moving his entire battle line up almost, or kind of shooting.
Yeah, I mean he has got damage with him.
He has got Saladin, 3 Serpent Riders, and the Black Numenorian Marshal. So it is a static line, but it's got 5 points of march. It's also got 5 cav, 2 of them being mounted heroes. It can move to objectives if it needs to. But you are right. If you are moving, you're really not making the most of those. How many points are they, Sam? 11?
10, Arbalester.
10. Sorry, 10 points. So they're quite expensive for if you're not using their crossbows. So
yeah,
it'll be interesting. Dan is notorious for capitulating day 2. So we'll see if he can survive a 2-day event, or if he sticks to 1-day 90s.
I think. I mean, if I was using this in contest, I feel like you kind of just have to resort to putting your 9 Arbalesters behind the line and maybe just shooting the shit out of the leader.
Yeah.
And the 6 Harad.
Yeah. But the Harad less so, because I mean you have no one in your line at that point, which is the only problem.
When that Azog charges 2 guys, try and get 2 friendly fire kills.
Yeah. Either that or dehorse them anyway of that nature.
Should also be pretty good at not only shooting into the leader's combat potentially and trying to kill the leader, but you can kill whatever the leader's got into combat with. Yeah. That's your model. So
Or I guess it's difficult because I mean Dalamir can get kills at 3 attacks with Bane of Kings, but him being D4, you could lose a move off and get rearranged along the lines and get charged by X amount of hero and totally die in 1 turn. But it'll be interesting. I like that
risk of true ring, Sam. How does Dalamir's smoke bomb work? Can you stop it, or is it just if he hits your smoke bomb?
No, you just use a point of will. Like you don't have to roll anything. If you have 3 will and he hits you with a smoke bomb, you go, okay, I'll use a point of will, and then you go down to 2 will, and that's it. Like it's really
so with no magic or kind of terror in the list, other than the odd sprinkling of black numbers, there's no real pressure on opponent hero will.
I guess it works better if he had a wraith.
Yeah.
Or even like the mouth of Sauron sprinkled in.
Yeah. I'll be interested to see how he does with it. I do like it though.
Yeah. High model count. Yeah. Okay.
In contest, his list just relies on can you shoot out your own models to stop them getting kills. So can he do that? Will he even be in a position that it matters on game 6? I don't know.
Maybe. James is
James is not happy. If you just take the Black Numenorian Marshal, I think he is 85 points. He just isn't that good value for that, because that's quite expensive,
He does have a pretty good stat line, but for a captain, essentially, it's a lot of points.
Yeah, Gorbag strikes, and that's it.
I just don't think this list is very scary at all, like compared to what people usually bring. Yeah, I think it's arguably better as pure Arad or pure Corsairs. I think a mix isn't. I don't know. I don't know what apart from Suladan. I don't really know what the Arad brings.
Oh no, just Suladan.
Just Suladan.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's it, isn't it?
No,
But it also
Merchant
not just
Guardians,
Suladan.
They do give you a bit of hitting power in your front line, but apart from that, I don't think this list is just going to kill anything.
But it's is it better just being like spam Corsairs sort of thing?
I probably would have taken. I think.
Yeah, I think so.
Merchant Guard are good, but I also think that taking Watchers Arcana may be better. Just because
I don't think he needs the extra dice though. He's already got more models than most people are going to have. That's not going to be his issue.
But with the Arbalesters, it depends whether you have more dice. It's like I don't think it's the 2 attacks with the Watch Arcana. That's the thing. It's mainly the courage. It's going up to courage 5 against Terror models because you courage. If you play Harbinger, you're courage 2 at this, and you don't really charge anywhere at that point. But
yeah, I would have liked to see like Bosun and some Reavers.
Yeah, you can either go Reaver route, but Bosun's are pretty shit. That's the problem with them. I mean, they are 3-inch banner, but they don't. You have some.
Yeah, as you said, against Terror, don't know how well this list does.
Yeah.
What Suladan brings the banner, and he also brings the cavalry, which is massive because I know Sam's played full Corsairs before, and just the lack of cavalry in scenarios like Recon or or captain control when you need to get it just makes it more difficult.
Yeah,
it gives you 3 might hero. Corsairs really lack might unless you take Dol Guldur. Because Dalamir 2, Corsairs or captains 2, and Bosuns are 1. Like the 3 might is really really needed. So I wouldn't take Corsairs without Suladan realistically, but it depends what you go after that. You could have got 48 models or so if you took a captain, or 40, 46.
Yeah. At 650, that would be really, really good.
Yeah.
So Dan do be really good as well. So okay, that is going to do it for Dan Hawkins' Serpent Horde Corsair list. Moving on, next we have a Theodred's Guard list. So it is obviously led by Theodred on horse with shield. He is leading 1 Warrior of Rohan with banner and throwing spear, 4 Helmingers with throwing spear shield, 4 Royal Guard with throwing spears, and 1 Royal Guard on horse with throwing spear, and also 3 Outriders. There's a second Warband led by Elf Helm on horse with 4 Helmingers with throwing spear shield, 4 Royal Guard with throwing spear, 1 Royal Guard on horse with throwing spear, and 3 Outriders. And then Grimbold is leading exactly the same warband as well, for a total of 40 models. This is Ali's list, of course. What do we think?
The King.
28 throwing spears is pretty wild.
Scared.
Yeah, obviously I put 9 bows, but should be a big asterisk there, obviously, because shit ton of throwing spears.
Yeah, so it's 28 throwing spears in total. So that's sitting, assuming Ali sits kind of 8 inches away, you can have 2 ranks of guys be outside of charge range. That's what they hit on 4's base, 5. So you're getting like 8 or 9 hits.
Elliot, can you dub over the countdown music as John tries to work this out?
Yes, of course. Yeah, I totally can.
8 or 9 hits. 1.5 dead models if they're going into like Platinums, or 3 dead models if they're going into Defense 5 or Nean 5 swing.
Yeah.
And that's, you can kind of do that depending on the mission and stuff indefinitely, which is fairly scary. So it will just whittle you down. It will make amplify that kind of 40s already pretty decent numbers. I think the list before had 42. The list I was planning on running was 40. So 40 is kind of that sweet spot of models. And then if you can just kite, you can just really whittle people down, get like 2 or so turns of shooting in. Suddenly you've got a 6 model advantage.
Yeah,
probably
really, really big. Yeah.
He doesn't have any way to boost up to fight 5, right?
Theodred Guard doesn't get
4.
any fight value bonus, so left fight 4.
I think it's flexibility of having
a bad place to be in.
Because you can then either, if you're playing Terror, you can put the Royal Guard in front. If you're playing, I mean, they all have
Swarm Protector, Theodred.
Yeah, the whole army is fearless.
Yeah, so it's pretty good.
9 Outriders. Is that a lot?
No, that's about standard.
Do they come on horse by default? They do, don't they?
No,
No,
they don't.
No,
No,
I was figuring out
but they
There's an
do.
outlaw.
they come on
There's-
horse or not, but he's got them on
Yeah.
foot. Right.
so he does get up to fight 5, answering, I think it was John's question, on horse. So the Royal Guard on horse can charge it at fight 5.
Yeah, so
Oh, they
yeah,
do
in this
get a plus
legion,
one
Theodred
on
counts
the
as
charge.
third.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair.
But so, yeah,
This
a lot of
is-
it's thingy, so there's only 3 5/5 models then at that point.
Yeah, and he's got them for objectives. Yeah, so he's going to be fight 4.
I mean, I think Ali said he's undefeated in over, what, he said something like 30, 40 games of this list. So it's pretty scary in his hands. If he can use
March,
Theodred.
does it?
I think
No.
Grimbold has March.
Elfhelm has March, does he not?
Does Elf?
think
No,
he
no,
Grimbold
no one
does,
has March here.
No, he's
Grimbold
got
doesn't,
accuracy
and I don't
defense,
think
doesn't he?
Elfhelm does.
Oh, I don't know. Probably
I
not.
don't think any of them have March, if I'm
But-
not mistaken.
No,
What are you really
Yeah,
using March for?
Grimbold
in this
only has
list?
but I
Same.
mean, he's used to playing with dwarves, so you know
Yeah, but he usually has March.
he's not true.
Like,
So this list, if we just compare what we just what we just saw with Dan,
Yeah,
this list can't come towards Dan very quickly, and Dan has a great time murdering Royal Guard, while Annie slowly walks towards him. That's the only thing I can see this suffering to is lots of shooting in a scenario
Yeah,
like
strength 4
assassination
shooting.
or
D5
Yeah.
front line as
well,
well.
even strength. Yeah, even strength 3 shooting going through.
So I guess in this, does he put his Royal Guard at the front for
Yes.
D6 and then have depending on what he's playing. I guess if he's playing strength 4, then he'll just protect it, behind. I guess, but yeah, depends what he's playing.
yeah.
No,
Yeah, it's just a no March for me. I think that's the only weakness really of it. Obviously Theodred being 2 wins, 1 fate. But if you're good enough at protecting him with his rule, you should be fine. And he's a good hero in contest because he can kill quite
Really good.
consistently.
Yeah.
Would you take a captain then instead of Elfhelm for the March?
Elfhelm's
really know.
brilliant.
I'm pretty sure.
Elfhelm is good.
I think he really likes Elfhelm.
Elfhelm is good.
Yeah, he's all right. I mean, he's fight 4 though.
I feel like
The
he
only
would.
thing I do sort of wonder about taking Grimbold. I mean, you get the Helmingus, but I used I played against
Yeah.
that with a Rohan Loth list at one point, and he says Grimbold, like
I'm not.
he kind of just
Yeah.
ends up being a Mike caddy.
I'm not a fan of Grimbold.
And a
He's-
captain, with March could be really, really good.
Yeah.
It's the fight.
he's got to
4
hope
is
some good
important.
matchups to not
Yeah,
play
the strength 4.
shooting.
Yeah.
But then-
It doesn't. I don't think he minds shooting that much. Like against Dan's list, he's got 9 crossbow shots, hitting on 4s, 4.5 hits. Still needing 5s to wound the Royal Guard. So he's only killing kind of 1.5 Royal Guard a turn.
Yeah, but I think every kill he lands is kind of more damaging, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah, his guys are more valuable, but he's then he will outshoot once he gets kind of within 8 inches.
Yeah.
So worst case scenario for Ali is kind of he's got to travel
Yeah.
across 24 inches of deployment and then Dan sets up at the back. So that's 30 inches, so 5 turns.
But the
You
Corsairs
lose-
have throwing weapons as well, right?
Yeah.
He would probably kill quite a lot though.
Yeah,
He kills
fair.
1.5 with the Arbalistas, and then he's still got the 6 Haradrim bows. So he's
Yeah.
probably
Yeah, so I don't know actually. I think
kill
Dan
2 a
probably
turn.
outshoots this. Yeah.
So he loses 10 on the walkover.
that's pretty good.
That
Yeah,
doesn't
that's
seem
sad.
good for Ali.
yeah.
Against D6 as well, because that's your fight 4. If you lose that, then the Corsair portion's outfighting you. They trap you. They
Yeah.
can put wound. It's really bad to get outnumbered by Corsairs. So,
Mm.
yeah, I think it's good. It's just the no March thing. That's all.
Yeah. But then it's also like,
Yeah.
the Swarm Protector everywhere at the moment with the sort of way the meta sort of is quite a lot at the moment is really,
Oh,
really
yeah.
good. So, it's probably why he's taking it.
It's like a lot of the power comes in the Swarm Protector, right? So
Yeah.
is this Legion good enough against lists that don't cause terror? Because that's kind of why you're taking the Legion, right? Does it have enough bonuses for like the other matchups is the question.
I mean, it's a good model count. Fight 4. It's got strength 4 as well in a lot of places and 28 throwing spears. if he has a good turn, yeah, that's really quite devastating.
Yeah, no, I think it's decent. I just for the sake of discussion, like Theodred's Guard, yeah, I mean it's got the army-wise Warm Protector, which is obviously amazing if it comes up. But if it doesn't, is the list strong enough?
Well, it's even when you break, you get it. I think you always benefit from it, regardless.
Yeah, you're not going to run. Yeah.
Yeah, true. There is that.
Theodred's also got 3 will, which is really fucking good as well for like a 90-point hero or whatever the fuck he is, 100.
Mm.
So it's really
I think
And
I'm
rerolling all failed to wounds.
Yeah, but as in like, because you need him to not fail a courage test and run, and you lose your Swarm Protector, so you got 3 will. So if you don't play Magic, it's really quite unlikely that you run.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just you have to play it well in terms of the babysitting him, right? Because he goes crazy.
Yeah.
That's the only thing.
But I'm sure he knows.
Yeah, Ali will.
I'm
As
sure
much
he knows.
experience as
I'm
Ali
sure he
has to
knows.
this list. He'll be able to
Ali,
babysit
do you know that
Theodred.
Theodred has to charge? Oh, what?
See, I don't know. But yes, Theodred's Guard, it kind of, we know what it does, especially in Ali's hands. So what defense are the Outriders though? Base 3?
I think they're 4.
Their defense. No, I'm pretty sure they're 3.
Oh, yeah,
9 of them.
4.
No, I think they're 4.
They're totally 3, my dude.
They're 4.
4.
Damn.
They're 4, my dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was convinced.
They have a 3-up shoot
Classic
value as well.
James.
which
You were
is-
convinced.
That's what I was thinking of. 3-up shoot value.
Yeah, 3-up shoot value. They get the stand fast kind of anywhere on the board, so really nice for kind of babysitting like backfill objectives and stuff.
Who needs that?
Really useful
Yeah,
until
that's-
all of your army has Swarm Protector.
That combos well with Theodred.
Yeah.
After Theodred charges in and gets
He
swatted.
gets splatted. Then suddenly the Outriders become a
Flanked
big
by
brain
2
pick.
trackers.
And Grimbold holding the fort on his own.
Yeah, Chad. But yeah, that's going to do it. Ali's Theodred's Guard list. I'm sure he'll do very well with it as per usual. So moving on next, we have a Fellowship and Lothlorien alliance. So it is led by Legolas from the Fellowship with armor on horse with the Elven Cloak. And from Lothlorien, he is taking Haldir with heavy armor, cloak, and bow, who is leading 5 Galadriel Warriors with shield, 1 knight with bow and shield, 4 Guard Galadriel Core, 4 Wood Elf Warriors with elf bow and Wood Elf spear, and 1 Wood Elf Sentinel. Then he also has Rumil with another 4 Galadriel Warriors with shield, 1 with banner, shield, and spear, 1 knight with bow and shield, 4 Guard Galadriel Core, and 2 Wood Elf Warriors with bow and spear. So 30 models, but 3 fight 6 heroes. 9 might for elves, which is pretty good. 8 guard. Leggy in contest was the only thing I was looking at, but obviously he is fight 6, 3 attacks on the charge. It's pretty good, but
Does contest count shooting kills, or does it have to be melee kills?
No, it's combat.
combat, yeah. So, but 3 attacks on the charge, fight 6 isn't the worst thing. He's got 3 might behind him as well. So, and I guess if you're playing against say a Boromir or something on horse, you could, if you win the first turn prior, just run away and then snipe the horse out and then go into combat.
Yeah.
So you could get value out of the bow still. But 30 models for elves, with the 3 fight 6 heroes, I think it's pretty good.
I think Legolas is a really good shout for this event. Especially there's 5 Mordor lists and 4 Angmar lists. So that's probably 9 Witch Kings. And I learned the hard way how not unrealistic it is for Legolas just to bang out a ring wraith on with full will.
That's yeah.
I think it happens to be 3 or 4 times at unnumbered tiers. Legolas one shot in a ring wraith.
Love to see it.
So
When we get,
sorry,
I was going to say, when we get later on to see Sam's list, having Legolas for this event, as you said, John, is very, very good, but probably not as your leader. As you know, we're playing contest. If we're talking about contest specifically, you want him just behind your lines going dead horse, lead a wound, kill this, kill that. Basically just 2+ing their leader all the time.
I
But if he's
guess
in combat, he can't do that.
Not leader
If-
wound, but
if you're locked into taking
Yeah.
Lothlorien, though, he's probably a better option than. Is he a better option than Haldir or Rumel, do you think?
Well, you could take Celeborn, be the, I guess.
Kevin
you
Howley's
could-
And you
Yeah.
wouldn't have get
I think
30
Howdy could be
models.
leader, right?
Howdy would be the leader next, yeah, because
Yeah.
he's a Valor.
But he could, isn't Haldir a bit more points than one of the other cheap heroes with like armor and bow? No, is he not, James? Because like, could you drop Leggy and then save some points somewhere else and get Celeborn? Maybe, I don't know.
I
could
don't
have
mind
Has
Howdy.
3 fate as well, which is helpful for kind of staying
Celeborn, yeah.
alive.
Yeah.
I looked at this and I actually, at first glance, I thought, I don't know if I like it or not. But then I actually kind of just do. But at the same time, I see the advantage to it. 30 elves with the 3 heroes.
With
is
3
good.
here, yeah. it's
But
pretty
then
good.
he doesn't have March, which is, a classic. Can't always fit in. The other thing is that the bows in this list are all wood elf.
Hmm.
So they're all D3.
He has got a lot of D3 with a sentinel as well.
Yeah, I don't like this.
yeah, there's only 6 D6 models in the entire list, which
Yeah.
seems a little mental.
Like it does have a lot of shots.
Oh, no, sorry,
Yeah.
8 with the cavalry, but
Yeah,
yeah.
it does have a lot of elf shots, but those wood elves can totally die to any shooting so easily.
Did they have Elven Cloak?
Oh, I think they
Um,
might actually
Yeah, what
yeah,
else?
they
What
do.
else do?
do. Yeah.
yeah, unless you're behind a terrain piece.
Yeah, so
sure.
that helps, right?
You just need like a ledge or whatever.
But I don't know if they have Elven Cloak.
They really do.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, they do. I think. Yeah.
Okay.
So,
I guess it's maybe what he's planning because he's paid the points as well for Haldir to have the cloak. So and Leggy.
And Leggy.
Yeah, I
even
mean,
though
he's
a
given
horse.
Leggy a cloak on a horse. I mean, what?
I don't like that at all. That's
No.
No.
Why has he also got 8 guard? It seems a little crazy. If
I'm
you
not
look at
saying
the way this line is going to shape up, it doesn't work at all.
I actually played against Loth list at Imps that had its entire back line basically was guard. It was
Well,
actually
that's
it was
like,
pretty good.
what was it? 800 points.
That's
Yeah,
right.
yeah. But like, I do see the benefits in taking a lot of it.
Eight
Do you
is
need
a
that
bit.
much though?
8 is
He
6.
hasn't got enough of a front line to
It's
support
650,
those
yeah,
guards.
yeah.
They're just going
I-
to get shot
I
or
agree,
just
yeah.
die.
Yeah, I don't hate it, but I don't. It's not like, oh my god, like fair play. But I kind of like it, but kind of don't like it. I don't really know. I'm indecisive for this.
I
list.
don't think it's not the most competitive list we've seen.
No.
Could it quite well? Yeah. The heroes are too weak. I mean, I guess they do get resistant to magic because it's green, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I was going to say Howder and Rommel with their 1 will are susceptible to magic, but I guess with resistant to magic,
Yeah.
they could resist a few spells.
And
Yeah.
I do
They
like
just-
Leggy as leader in non-contest scenarios.
Yeah.
No, Legolas is great. Yeah. 30
But like
models is still quite low.
Mm. But he's got the 3 fight
For elves, I'd say it's bad.
Hero.
Yeah, 30 with elves, like. it's not
Yeah.
bad.
While he's got three.
Yeah, but
It's
we
more
usually
that
say
they're-
elves- it's the fact they're not got any defense.
Mm.
They've got no defense and no hitting power. I don't know.
Yeah, because like yes, he's got the 3-5-6 heroes, but they're all 2 attacks.
Unless
So,
he's getting a
like,
lot of kills
can
from his shooting. If he
fly.
comes against Blinding Light, it's kind of an insta loss at this point. I don't know.
I don't know if there's a lot of blinding light at the event though.
yeah, I didn't really see much of it at all.
No, probably not. Because I mean, I don't think it favors the event very well. But just for the
Really?
specific list, if it did come up, I think it would be a very bad time.
I think the only blinding light
I
is
saw I saw one list with Blinding Light James that also included Isildur and a
Oh, I
captain.
totally saw that list as well.
We may be looking at that list.
Sorry, Sam.
Totally could have been improved.
No, I thought the only list was Denby's, but then yeah, I totally do remember that seeing that list, which I also did like.
Yeah, well, we will get to that one. So let's move along. The next list. So we are going to be looking at
Oh,
2
No.
lists here. So
Woo.
for the
Are
audio,
these
listener-
actually properly pointed now, Mr.
Yeah, they've been fixed.
It is.
They've
So
fixed
for the audio listener, we have 2 Pits of Dol Guldur lists here. So I won't go specifically into each list, but I have noted down the differences. So obviously they're both pits and they're both led by Azog on White Warg. One of the lists has 2 Hunter Orc captains, a Hunter Orc with a banner, and more Gundabads, where the other list has a Gundabad captain instead of one of the Hunter Orc ones, with also a banner, but a Warhorn as well, and far fewer Gundabads. The other difference as well is that one of the lists has 37 models, and that's one that has the Warhorn and the banner, and the one with only the banner has 40. And these are both being taken by the 2 top players in the league at the moment at the same event. So what do we think in the comparison?
I mean, is there a better list for contest of champions?
With an auto
No,
cryo. I can't wait for him
if
to play
Azog
each other,
does
though.
lose, he can just die.
Oh yeah, but
If he loses, well,
Yeah,
like,
if Azog loses like a roll off or something,
strike
in
off.
a
Yeah.
yeah,
yeah.
at D5 he can totally die, which
Yeah.
isn't the
Yeah.
best thing ever.
I think specifically for contest of champions, the mission I like. I think I like the list with the more Gundabads more, because you still have enough Hunter Orcs where you can swarm initially at the start and kind of swarm people, which is what Hunter Orcs like to do. But then with all the spears, you can really kind of back up that like central core where Azog is going to be fighting, and kind of reinforce Azog to really kind of, it helps punch through that middle bit. I think a little bit more,
So
especially if people are kind of shielding their leader back behind their lines.
Yeah. So in Palmer's list, which is one that you were just talking about with the more Gundabads, he has, if he puts a Gundabad with spear behind all of his Hunter Orcs, he will be left with 10 spare Hunter Orcs. So like you say, he'll have those to sort of try and wrap and trap and do all that sort of fun stuff.
Yeah.
Having used pits quite a lot, I do quite like the Gundabads. He's also got 40 models, which I think is a really good place to be. But I do really like the Horn as well in Jake's list. And only, I mean, he's used Azog's Hunters a lot. So maybe, you know, he feels really confident in just swarming with the Hunter Orcs and he can do that well. But it does seem like a lot of Hunter Orcs, and he could potentially struggle with just having too many with, you know, spears and things. It's just a nice addition to have them. But, you know, farmers sacrifice the Horn, which is a really big deal, I think.
They're only else intrigued by why the banner is on a Hunter Orc in Farmer's list.
So I'm totally not sure on Longshanks. He's just put and banner, but he put it underneath where he put 6 Hunter Orcs. So I don't know if he was just saying and banner in the warband or if he meant it to go on.
Okay.
I don't know. It
So
could
it may
be
not
on
be.
the bad. Yeah,
Okay.
but I'm not totally sure. But the way it was wrote, I think it's on a Huntsbook. Go on, Ash.
So I think if I'm remembering correctly, I played Jakob with pits and he didn't have a Horn either. And his reasoning was, if you have broken with this list, it's probably not gone very well for you anyway. And that +1 courage isn't going to save too many of your models running if they manage to tag Azog and the Hunter Orcs. So getting up to 40 models like Farmer has was sort of what was the same line of thinking that he went down. I don't know if the Horn helps too much against sort of a Witch King Sully list with Harbinger or any Terror of Harbinger. Do you know the specific statistical breakdowns of what being Courage 1 or Courage 2?
No. Not everything is Witch King Sully, though. I know you like to compare it to your list, but not everything
Well,
is.
just talking about Terror in general, if you have to take Courage tests.
I mean, both the lists I would have taken to this event would have had Terror, and I'd be quite confident playing against it because of that. I don't know.
With Horn or without a Horn.
Hunter
With
Orcs,
or without,
of course. Yeah. Like they always struggle into Terror, like Angmar, you know, when I've played Sam.
And it also just has a model. Jake's list has 37 models and a Horn. So like he's only got 36 models because you're never putting that Horn in combat. Whereas Farmer's got 4 more models that are all going into combat sort of thing. So 4 models is a fair difference.
It is. I think it's more to touch on the Warhorn. I think it's obviously, I get Yaka's point of, when you're broken, like things have probably gone bad anyway. It's more just that if you're playing an objective sort of scenario, there are always times where you have to end up taking courage tests, when you don't have stand fasts available, if your heroes get tagged at the end of the game or whatever. And if you need X Hunter Orc to pass a courage test to stay on an objective, to contest one, or whatever it is, that Horn does pay for itself in those games. But yeah, I see the other side of it as well.
I also think you're far more likely to break if you don't have the Horn, if you are playing against any form of terror as well. So I don't know, that kind of does yourself over.
Yeah, because you've got less models.
Yeah.
What do we think about the Gundabad captain over another Hunter Orc one?
I like it.
I quite like it as well.
Yes, D7, right?
Yeah, I think a lot of people do cream over the Hunter Orc ones though, which I think they are really good.
Cheapest fight 3-attack model in the game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
D7 being able to
D7 though
shield,
is good.
being able to shield,
D7 is very
like
nice.
in contests, you can just put that in front of their leader for maybe it survives the first turn, and then
If you charge Boromir, you're gonna survive because he's not gonna roll.
with three attacks.
Sixes with three dice.
Yeah.
I think
So-
it's-
The 6 might though.
Yeah.
Sorry, Ball's a bad example.
Fog and I think the Gundabad Orc captain also helps in Fog, Assassination, and Clash.
All those secondary hero scenarios.
Yeah, because at that point, your D7 captain against shooting or whatever is you're more comfortable having him behind the lines. Yeah, he's still a bit susceptible, but you can kind of put your Hunter Orc captain in a very, very safe position at that point. So then they only have the Gundabad to choose.
Yeah.
One higher courage as well, right?
Yes.
Is it one high? Yeah.
Do you think him having
It'll be coach 5 with the Warhorn.
Yeah. So that's
That's
gonna be
very
interesting.
tasty.
Yeah.
do you think
like
the
it.
Hunter Orc captain having hatred, dwarf, and elves is relevant
Nah.
versus the other one, or just
Never
a bonus?
use
It's ancient
Could be.
enemies, not hatred.
Yeah, ancient. Yeah, it doesn't
Just
usually.
rerolling ones.
Yeah.
It's nice,
Ancient
but it's not a
enemies
huge
sound
difference.
So cool.
It
And
does.
why is it
Underwhelming.
so bad that it's only re-rolling once?
I think also as well, a lot of where the Horn gets the value is when you take it with Gundabads, because the Gundabads go up to Courage 4.
Courage 4, yeah.
But if he has less Gundabads, then he's not getting the maximum value out of it. So like if he's playing against Harbinger, where you've got the Horn and a lot of Gundabads, your Courage 3 up to 4 down to 3, which is like, it's not better than being Courage 1,
Just
With that.
chuckling that we're slating the best player in the league's list.
Yeah, I mean,
As
I'm
if-
not sure
as
which
if
one
we
is
could do
actually
better.
more consistent, because I mean, one has a lot more dice, but one has a stronger line. I'm not too sure.
More protecting
it's-
and
We will
shooting
find out
as well.
when both
Yeah.
of these play each other game 6.
So if
win
if
the
that
event.
I
happens,
think when you
contest
play one of
games-
them game 6, actually.
if that happens, contest game 6, because I've actually played using pits against another pits player before. And we decided to just not use.
What if you both call auto priority?
It's
So
been
we-
FAQ'd.
So we agreed before
Oh,
the
has
game
it?
not to do it. Oh, but was
Is it just a roll off?
Oh.
It's been FAQ'd by
Tom
John to
has
say that
FAQ'd it himself.
if one player decides to use it, then the other player can also decide to counter it, and then it basically nullifies it. It then just goes to normal priority, and you lose it.
It should be if you say it first, you get it.
So neither of them are
I
really
mean-
ever going to get to use it because they'll both
Like
they'll both
Buster
keep it in the
Scruggs, speed of
pocket.
the draw.
They'll both keep it in the pocket,
Buster Scruggs.
and then as soon as one person uses it, the other will use it, and then it's gone. Unless
Depends. One
the
person
person
could.
who
They
the
could
person who
think, oh,
doesn't
this is
use
actually
it-
not a great situation to
Yes,
use it. I'm going to let you have it
then
and then
they
use
could
it,
keep it,
like keep
yeah,
it in my pocket.
Yeah.
Mm,
Which,
mind games.
depending on how they
I'm-
position it wise and
Yeah.
how they assess the board.
I guess if someone does make a mistake, then having it could be huge.
Yeah.
But then if the other person who makes the mistake has theirs, well then when their opponent calls it to capitalize on the mistake, well then they have theirs to just counter. So then it,
Yeah.
so
Going back to the horn question,
Yeah.
Google says, so for say a Hunter Orc trying to pass courage test, it's a 41% chance, or 42 rounding, to roll an 8 or higher versus a 28% chance. So
Big difference.
you're only
then.
getting like a 14 So you're getting a 50%.
Increase.
Actually, I don't know if probabilities work like that. So you're going from 40% chance with a horn to roughly 28% chance without a horn. So kind of
12% difference.
Yeah, 12% difference. So absolute reduction of like
30 points, yeah.
roughly 33%. So you're
I guess
a third of the time ish. It'll.
I guess that's where having it with the
Make a
Gundabad's is better. So maybe if he's gonna take the horn, he should have maybe taken more Gundabad's. But
So is that worth 30 points though?
I think so.
Because how many points is a
I
hunter
think
orc?
so.
8.
8.
Well, 8, 6. So basically 4 hunter orcs.
Yeah, but
Give or take for 2
That's
points.
8 dice in a
And I guess for Dave's
I mean,
list
over the course of
without
the game, that the extra 33% is going to be way more than 4 hunter orcs. So
yeah.
If you break.
Well, John.
You don't always break.
yeah,
I guess for Dave without the horn, it's kind of a double-edged sword because you could say the courage tests are less impactful because he can get people in with spears, but then he's got less of those hunter orcs in the front line to try and get in because he's relying on the spear support. Whereas Jake has way more orcs who don't need to rely on spear support, so he can just keep rolling courage chests until he passes. So it almost feels like Dave's list would benefit more from the horn than Jake's would. So you can get that lesser number of frontline people in.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll be interested. I mean, one of these people will probably podium. Let's be real. Maybe win the event. Let's be real. Sorry.
Seems unlikely it wouldn't happen.
Yeah.
What's
I
it?
feel like they're both very good in contested champions, aren't
Can you Google
Aren't
what the
they?
chance of them winning is, John?
Let's ask ChatGPT.
There's an extremely
Yes.
positive correlation chance that one of these two will podium.
Right, I'll ask ChatGPT who will win the GBHL this year.
You need to upload the GBHL rankings to ChatGPT first, so they can then work out who's going to win.
It's going to say me.
That would be pretty tough.
James Goble. Jack Walker.
Yes.
Doesn't know. It didn't say Jack Walker, unfortunately.
I didn't realise Jack had been to an event until I was looking
Yeah, he
at
went to
the
the
rankings
mighty
earlier.
Pompey.
He went to Pompey.
I forgot he went to Pompey.
Pompey was nervous. Yeah.
He championed me through my first 100 victory. He was there on the table side.
Yeah, he
Rah!
was.
Why he did it. Yeah.
That's the only reason he won.
But yeah, it's really good to see Pitts, kind of, the 2 top players at the moment, taking it. So, we'll be interested to see how they get on and sort of the matchups they have and how they do. So moving on, we have a Arabor Reclaimed list. So it is led by Thorin, King Under the Mountain, of course, on his goat with Orcrist. He's leading 10 Iron Hills with shield and spear, 1 Iron Hills dwarf with a crossbow, another one with a crossbow and spear, and then 1 goat rider with spear, of course. And then the second one band is led by Dane on boar. He's leading 9 Iron Hills with shield spear, 1 with crossbow, 1 with crossbow and spear, 1 with shield spear and banner, and another goat rider with his spear for 28 models.
Gonna shout out the person whose list this is.
Most of them D8. Whose list is that? You guys talk.
It is
whose list
Sean
is
White. I've
Sean
got long
White.
chunks up.
Shout out Sean White.
Shout out Sean White. It's it tickled my interest because this is something that me and Sam were talking about. And then when I was scrolling through the lists to pick some to review, I thought, oh, we've recently talked about this, Sam. Let's put it on the pod.
We totally have.
It was we were saying how this is really hard to kill. I mean, I'm less upset by the fact that this has 28 models. Like we said earlier about the elves having 30 each, whereas this is 28, mostly D7, D8 models. So you're a lot less.
This also has
nervous.
a lot of killing power as well compared to the elves.
Oh, yeah. You've got Dane and the free heroic combating Thorin and strength
Plus
4.
strength 4, yeah. And you're fearless.
You're like, and you're fearless, and you've got a banner in here.
Yeah, the 2 goat riders can do a lot of damage.
You're coming
Also
into
really
smash
good if you
face.
potentially run into an on-foot leader and roll a 5+, nullify them for a turn.
Yeah, this has massive punch. This is a cannon, but it's not made of glass.
That's
This is a
well.
metal cannon.
This is a
I mean,
cannon. that do not.
This is an iron cannon. An iron hills
Just
cannon.
a regular cannon. Then.
This is just a regular cannon then.
To play devil's advocate, it is very one-dimensional, though, right? It's just one big immovable block.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
I
if
think
you
Shout
at
out,
low points that works.
Shout out to the girlfriend baking on the pod. Come on, check it out.
God,
That doesn't look like sausage and mash.
Should I have
yet.
one?
Pretty silly now.
the Halloween
Gravy on the top.
That's pretty
Spooky dooky.
No, spooky dooky.
Someone was saying about a immovable block.
Yeah, I think it's maybe a
Sorry,
bit
John.
of a. I don't know if this term is kind of translated over to MESBG, but it's probably what I'd call a gatekeeper list. Something a bit similar to kind of maybe a bit similar to Bears. It's quite in a straight up fight, it's going to do really, really well. But as soon as it starts having to like play the mission, spread out a bit, say it's in domination where it has to kind of send some little blocks out to kind of split up and capture those objectives or do something, you can kill dwarfs if you're outnumbering them, you're getting traps off, they can die. Having both a mounted kind of dwarf beat sticks probably helps quite a lot, and at this points level there's not going to be like, you're unlikely to play triple caster unless you're playing like Ed Bulls, Black Riders, to be able to kind of shut down both of the heroes kind of consistently.
Yeah. If you don't play any magic, then you're having a really good time.
Yeah.
You know, 3, like Minas Tirith or something, for example.
Yeah.
This would kind of.
The heroes are still quite resilient to magic, though.
Yeah,
Both with 3
very well.
Yeah,
and also,
that's what I'm saying. It'll be hard to shut
a model
down.
like. Oh, okay, yeah. The big thing about a model like Dane is you compel him, you trap him with like 15 dice. He still doesn't die because you need 6s and he's got 3 fate. So it's he can be compelled, he can be trapped, and he just goes there, takes a load of damage and goes, yeah, lol, I'm still alive. So it's quite it's a tough nut to crack.
I guess,
even against something like Black Riders, he's getting his value from the Fearless anyway.
Oh, yeah. Ed would hate to play this.
Yeah.
If the guy knows
I
how
mean,
to do
Thorin
it,
would be instantly nuked, but
you just have a long line of dwarfs 12 inches away. Sean, listen. And you just walk forward towards Ed and you ruin his hopes and dreams. Thorin and Dane right back. And you have a good time.
26 model long line across the entire board.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Can't fit a
No,
cavalry
you can
base
hide
in
your banner
between.
as well.
You
You
can
just
to be fair.
slowly
Yeah.
trap him in the corner.
Yeah. Good luck black darting 28 guys, Ed.
Dwarfs, yeah.
Did you say any thoughts, Sam, after our discussion?
Well, I remember like when I spoke to you about this, I think I didn't have a banner and you get like 32 models because you get 2 extra dwarfs, 30 models. And you kind of then would just rely on Thorin's 6-inch banner for Dane. They don't affect the dwarfs, which is a bit poo.
How does it not?
No, because
Don't affect Dane.
they don't class as Arabor Reclaimed.
Ah.
So Dane, old Dane, when you have Iron Hills dwarfs, they then do affect the models. But Thorin, and it's just shit. I don't know why. It's just really
Right.
bad.
Does Thorin
It's
affect this
fluffy.
Dane?
It's because
Pardon?
Thorin stays in the mountain during the film.
I totally Bubakar calls them to him.
So yeah, Thorin will give Dane the banner and himself, but none of the dwarfs.
But I prefer it with the banner just because of in that VP chance. You might as well have it. For the price of 2 dwarves, I think 2 VPs is way better.
I think
And also,
crossbows.
sorry, Sam.
I was going to say just maybe like, do you go down to maybe I don't know, maybe 27, 26 models and just try and get more crossbows in there? Because you have 4, but if you had, that's what, 26, a third of that.
And if you go, it's more like if you then play any sort of 40-ish model count list or just over, you're just so severely outnumbered.
But then you got shooting advantage, and you're sort of crossbows, and you have Thorin and Dane. Like if you play against the Corsair list against this, the Corsairs have totally just rinsed this. I think because they can kill the dwarfs with the traps in the set. Their fight for the same. Getting the +1 wound is OP.
Even Ali, like if Ali plays it in a scenario where, let's say this list goes down in model count to get in more crossbows, then if he plays like domination, you could get some value out of the shooting, but something where you start basically on the 24 like breakthrough or something like outnumbered sort of 2-1 ish, like that's
I guess there's an argument. I remember sending a list to Ash, and it was Thorin, and it had 2 smaller heroes instead of Dane. Like, and you get a higher model count, you get kind of like that 35-ish.
Would be the way to go.
Certain heroes like Gloin and Biffa, for example.
Thorin for contests.
The Master of Battle and the Maelstrom. Like this in any of the
don't get Master Battle.
He doesn't get Master Battle in this because it's Arabor Reclaimed.
Yeah.
Why have you got the star then? Combat.
Getting 3 combats.
Oh, Dol.
Dane doesn't get the reroll for Jules in this one.
Huh?
He doesn't get the reroll, like from Thorin's army bonus. Dubakar.
The banner? No.
Oh yeah, he totally doesn't, does he? That's me being a
He doesn't.
Because it's it's only
Arabor Reclaimed expert people.
It's only
Thorin is only affecting himself in this list, which is a bit
banner definitely worth it.
Army bonus here, but
you might as well just go.
So if you took like Gloin and Dwalin, then they would.
Yeah. You might. Is there an argument to just go Iron Hills, go Yellow Alliance, just so you can make Dane the leader instead of Thorin?
But you want Thorin to be the leader for contest.
Dane's pretty good for.
Do you? Dane's just as good. It's maybe better because he's better at killing the leader.
Do you have to be calling her a
contest?
I guess the auto think is, he's got 3 hurt combats, but
because if you face Witch King, just black darts the goat, whereas Dane's at least it's got 2 wounds, right?
And I don't know, they're not going to be getting a huge number of kills anyway against your list. You don't need to be heroic combating every turn.
Yeah, getting loads of kills. Yeah. No.
Dane is going to kill anything he touches, whereas
he's
Thorin
consistent compared to Thorin.
Yeah. I do like it. I don't really want to play against this. I'll be honest with you. No.
Especially on a nice little chokehold board. This would be horrible.
I wouldn't be enthralled to play against this list. But
enthralled.
I mean, as John said,
playing this at assassination. Oh no.
Big no.
Yeah, John said this is pretty one-dimensional. If there's like an objective scenario, it will struggle like all dwarf lists do. The model count is on the low side, so yeah.
I think you've still got enough to control 3 of whatever objective you're playing and take it. I don't know.
A lot of that depends on the board as well, though, with dwarves.
Yeah, but this is 28 is kind of rough. I know they're dwarves, but they will die eventually.
Yeah.
If you've only got 28.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
It feels like it. Sorry, Ash, you go.
I was going to say this could definitely break even. Probably maybe go 4-2, depending on player skill. If it pushes up to 5-1, I'd be surprised.
I think if it got a couple nice matchups or boards potentially, it could definitely go 5-1.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, matchup dependent. Yeah,
not bad.
If it's just playing simple line fight armies, it could totally just squish them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sorry, John. Carry on.
I was going to ask how obviously killing the other people's leaders is going to be big in this. Do you think this list can consistently kill other leaders, or?
I guess Dane. It just chases Dane after their leader, I guess.
Yeah, I feel like that's his sole purpose in this.
Pretty good
list, to be honest.
Yeah.
Also, Thorin combating for free every turn makes it difficult to hide your leader because you got to hide him sort of.
Well, that and it's difficult to track Thorin down as well because you can't target if he's going to be moving all around the board.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you lose a roll off and Dane gets into your leader,
yeah,
have fun.
Dane
just goes, duh.
Yeah. Okay, so that is going to do it for this Arabor Reclaimed list. Moving on, we have a Rivendell and Lothlorien alliance. So it is led by Gil Galad. I wonder whose list this is. On
Luke
horse
Hilders.
with shield. Yeah, Luke Hilda. Who is leading 6 high warriors with shield, another 4 with bow and spear, 1 with banner, spear, and shield, 1 Kingsguard with spear, shield, and 1 Rivendell Knight with shield, of course. And then from Lothlorien, he's taking Galadriel with 6 Galadriel warriors with shield, 4 with bow and spear, 2 guard of the Galadriel Court, and a Wood Elf Sentinel for 28 models again as well. 6 might as well, because it's 2 3-might heroes. What do we think? We've seen Denby run something like this before. I've actually played him with a list like this before.
Not really a
Wow.
fan, Denbonator.
Why is
Kind
the
of the
banner
elf
not
version of
Lothlorien
the-
for the free resistant? I feel like he's just missing out on that for no reason.
So James is just insta already breaking down.
I mean, yeah, just feels a bit silly.
James always just checks who's holding the banner first. That's the first thing he looks
Well,
at.
it's
Hey,
really
James,
Are you
important,
watching this guy?
especially in a list when you've got free resistant on warriors. Why would you not put it in that
Could
section?
it be for kind of either Maelstrom or Divide and Conquer if it comes up, so that because it's more impactful having the banner next to Gil-galad, so he can get 2 rerolls.
That is right there, John coming in to instantly defend his teammate, and that is typical fuck for
And it
him.
is.
What do you got?
Gilgalad's already got Lord of the
Yeah.
West.
You
I
already
don't
have
think
a banner.
that's-
Gives you
You're
2.
doing. Steven's very good at using Gilgalad. He's not going to put him in a situation where he's going to be reliant on the extra reroll when he's already got 1.
It's that, well, playing devil's advocate, it's that real edge case scenario where the chances of rolling 4 ones are small, but they're a lot
Yeah,
higher
Google
than
up
the
again.
chance of rolling 5 ones.
Denby uses Rivendell
Yeah.
dice, he'll be fine.
True that.
I think you can roll quad 1 with.
On the Any Heroics YouTube channel, there is a clip of Gil-galad with 5 dice in total losing a fight to Braga.
Yeah.
Braga's
Is he-
OP though, so
Yeah,
Yeah,
and you
Braga
guys
is
have OP
OP.
dice as well. Your any heroics dice are OP.
They are. I totally use them all the
Hey,
time.
yeah.
They are good.
They are cracked.
Yeah.
Didn't help you in Haven, did it, James? To see
Not
whether we
when
played
you
good or
insta
evil.
rolled a 6 to win or lose the game, John. No.
On Rivendell dice.
Yeah, on a Rivendell.
Lol.
To
Yeah,
the
I totally
viewers,
rolled
if you
one,
do want to
sad
win
face.
events, you have to ask John or Denby for some Any Heroics dice, and then you just roll 6s and win.
Yeah.
You have to
Stephen
say,
will give
I-
them out to anyone with proof that you subscribe.
Yeah, to the Gollum's gamers as well as any heroics. That's the only way. I was quite when I was looking at the list earlier. He's only got the 3 Fight 6 models. I thought he would have had more Kingsguard because when I played him with this list, almost I can't remember if it was 600, but he had Galadriel and Gil-galad, and that was it. I don't think he had a Riv Knight, but yeah, he had a lot of Kingsguard. So I don't know. Maybe he
I
had
think it just doesn't work for the points. He's already low on models.
yeah.
And he can push it much further.
I think we were
Three's
playing
enough.
600 or something, but yeah.
Wait,
I
was
think-
this at Leon's event?
It was Lee.
Which was 600. Yeah, 600.
So that's less points, and he had way
Yeah.
more Kingsguard.
I guess
Yeah. Yeah,
Galadriel's.
that's more probably.
Yeah,
it's
But he must
it's
have had that.
diminishing returns slightly, I guess, on the Fight 6 because it's only really relevant if you're playing other Fight 6 armies, so Dragon Emperor or other elves, because if you're theoretically you can still get the benefit versus like the Fight 5 heroes running around because you can move those spears to the 1 point they are.
it's the Fight 6 heroes as well.
Yeah, I mean, they
Yeah.
could be really impactful against the list we just looked at for a Dana or a Thorin, just to put them
Yeah,
there and go,
really,
actually, I'm going to win
So
that
you
roll
can-
off.
You can move. He only has 3. Obviously, it'd be better to have more, but points allowing, you can move those 3 around to where they'll
Oh,
be
yeah,
most
yeah.
impactful.
Yeah, he'll still use them.
So you can, by not taking loads, you can still get the impact where it's needed most by saving a few points. How much more expensive is a Guard of the Galadriel Court versus
Only
an
1
Elf
point
with
more.
Spear?
1 point.
1 point.
Yeah. So
The Kingsguard are D6 as well, though, so they're definitely worth it.
Yeah.
I don't know how many more the Kingsguard are.
Kingsguard is
it's just
plus
1 point to
One
upgrade.
more point, so 12 for the spear and
So
shield.
they're 12, the same as the Galadriel
Yeah,
Court.
but you get courage 6 on the guard
You do.
or the Galadriel Court, so
I guess, yeah.
and a
okay.
pike.
How I see
which
it.
can-
This list,
James hitting
shield with an
hard
elven blade.
facts.
the 28 models this list, 28 models with the list previously with the dwarfs. Dwarfs have way more killing power
Yeah.
to their troops and to the heroes. You do get magic, of course, but is that better than?
I could definitely see this being the last list.
I don't think Galadriel would do enough in that matchup, personally.
You have Gil-galad to be able to take out the heroes. You can take a few
I
out
think
from
this should win.
shooting.
I don't.
Galad is the
I
leader, though.
definitely
It's
think
definitely
this should win.
risky chucking Gil-galad into those heroes.
I mean, if
Gil
you're one-on-one
Galad.
with Thorin, Gil-galad's winning that every day.
Yeah, but he's going to have Dane nearby.
Because I guess
That's why you have the 3 fight 6 models. You can
Yeah.
slow
Yeah,
Dane
yeah.
down
And,
massively.
yeah.
True.
Stephen's
while
list
using
is
Galadriel to
faster
do
and
that.
more mobile as well. I can't imagine Stephen would put him in a straight fight and risk a strike off.
That's what I'm saying, yeah.
Uh,
But then,
So,
Well, it's not really a strike off with Gil-galad, is it?
well, the risk of them rolling up to 10 to
yeah,
match Gil-galad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if Stephen's putting in one elf with a Galadrim or a fight 6 backup, that the dwarf player then has the choice. He can strike to guarantee the win, or he can kind of, and it's almost like bulging a bit, isn't it? You're baiting out those might points and baiting out those strikes. If Thorin's striking to win a fight versus a fight 6 spear support, he's not heroic combating, he's not killing as quick. You're winning most of the fights, probably not killing, but you won't be losing models that quickly, because when you lose a fight, you'll probably lose an elf, but you'll win theoretically more of the fights.
yeah.
And that means that kind of those dwarf heroes have to work overtime to try and catch up in that killing stuff. So they're going to have to be spending might to win fights, to strike up against just basic troops, which then will allow Gil-galad to kind of swoop in, hopefully, when they're kind of off guard. And he's got 2 inches more movement as well than the dwarf heroes. All the elves have 1 inch more than the dwarfs.
Yeah.
Steam list is a bit faster.
Makes a big difference.
If I was using dwarf list against this, I would 100% just be combating every time. And I mean, they have got 2 dice with a banner, no might to roll a 6. You got 3 if you're charging 4. Thorin's got his own banner to roll a 6 and might, and then you free combat, kill the first guy, and then you can go into the fight 6 model again, kill it. Like, you can't be striking.
Well, that's if it's
them.
a straight fight.
Yeah. I think striking against them would then lose the dwarf player the game over.
Yeah, I think even combating though, running yourself at a might against a list like this makes you vulnerable to Galadriel's magic.
I mean,
into
as in free
Gil-galad's.
combat.
Okay, yeah.
Because obviously Thorin's got his free, so I would
Yeah.
never be if I got charged and I had a fight 6 pike against me, one dude with a guard, I'm combating for free. If you don't roll a 6, that guy's dead, and then I'm out.
I mean, you can back away in a position where you wouldn't be able to get to the fight 6 model unless you would dismount.
I would never be striking against them because and they go for the goat, sure, but
I like this list more. Sorry, Ash.
I was going to jump in on Sam's side. I think this list loses to the dwarf list.
Yeah.
I just don't think Galadriel does enough. She can't stop Dane and Thorin. Even in a strike off, Gil-galad, if Thorin charges, you've got a 50-50 chance of going to 10. You've both got the Elven Blade. Even Gil-galad's not putting out too much hurt. The elves just do die if they lose to dwarfs, and the dwarfs just don't die. If they're in shield wall, the elves need 6s by 4s to even wound them. They're just going to get out killed. Yeah, I'm not. I can see Stephen doing well with this. I don't think Gil-galad is worth the points, unfortunately.
Hot take.
How do you see this list doing up against, like, say, Farmer Rawson's pits?
Not well.
Totally losing.
Yeah.
Not well at all.
Yeah,
Yeah,
fuck
your
7
cryo.
Azog. Azog absolutely rinses everything in this list.
Wait. Rinsing.
Rinsing.
And then you have your blinding light is pretty null and void because you don't have any shooting. You have this resistant Azog with 4-will.
The troops are also resistant.
Yeah.
It's the fact that, like, against a Witch King, on the way in, you can sap Azog's will. And if that goes off, then it's a little bit of a different situation. The fact that Galadriel hasn't got that ability, so she's relying on compelling and transfixing. Azog just doesn't care.
The same thing.
He's got 4-will.
You just kill the elves really fast if you win fights with 4v.
Yeah, just the sheer numbers. I think you just
4v
overwhelm them too quickly.
2 dice. You're needing 5s. But I think I can see Denby going 4 and 2 with it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think I'd expect him to probably.
Again, if we talk, I don't know why I'm bringing up assassination. It's one of, like, the worst scenarios.
So check out our previous episode where we ranked all the scenarios in the
Totally
game.
awful.
If you haven't seen it.
If you play this in assassination, you're not gonna have a good time. But
Yeah. Okay, so that will do it for Denby's Rivendell Loth list. I'm sure he'll do very well with it. Moving on, we are getting into our lists of everyone who's going. We totally left out. Obviously, yeah, Sam and Ash are going, who were on the call, I said at the start, but Jay is also going as well, coming hot off his recent GBHL 100 win at unnumbered tiers. So he is running a Minas Tirith Halls of Thranduil list. So it is led by Boromir, who does have the banner. I just haven't put it on there. So he has the banner, horse, and shield. He's leading 15 Fountain Court with shield. He's taking Leggy from Halls of Thranduil on horse. He's leading 2 Mirkwood Elves with shield, 1 with a bow, 2 with bow and glaive, 6 with just a glaive, 1 Mirkwood Cav with a shield, and 1 Wood Elf Sentinel for 30 models. He's got D7, fight 5 from the banner, and fight 5 naturally from the elves. Sentinel in there, obviously Leggy doing Leggy things, 9 might, 6-inch banner. It's got a lot going for it.
This is coming straight off the press. The fact that this is basically the same list Jay took at 1,000 points. Take away Guahir and
all the other shit. Yeah.
Galadriel.
No, there wasn't even. There was just one other thing. I can't remember what it was. But
Galadriel.
yeah, take away Guahir and Galadriel. And this is the list. He had Boromir with
Those
15
two
guard.
influential heroes.
Yeah, but this is like the core of the army. You've got the 15 Fountain
Yeah,
Court
Galadriel
guard.
and the
You've got-
Guahir give you all the extra bits, but yeah, this is like
Yeah, Galadriel and Guahir give you the tricks. This is what this was the body of his troops. The 15 guard at fight 5 with a banner, D7. Yikes. Try killing that. I did, and I couldn't do it.
you failed.
Yeah. Legolas, again, as we're going to continue saying, I was talking to Sam, is perfect for this event. You just look at enemy leaders and 2+ them for an hour and 45 until they die. And then you get the TP for it. You can also snipe out horses. You can also bring the Elven Blade to bear when you need to against certain lists or certain heroes. This makes me scared.
So it's
Is
interesting.
the
If you
back
compare
row-
this.
Oh, sorry, Vince, you go.
No, go.
I think the answer to this is obvious, but for the sake of discussion, is the back row of kind of fight 5 elves a bit redundant when
I
you've already
totally
got...
said about this in our chat.
Oh, we
already,
said
John.
this in our chat.
I totally raised this point already.
Yeah, I praised this thinking it was the best list, and they were like, but what's the point in the elves?
No, I never said that.
No. I mean, I sort of raised it, but I do. Yeah, it just gives you more flexibility, I guess. Ultimately,
It's flexible. You also want the guard at the front because they're fearless and they're D7 in comparison. It's just better that way.
What
The
it
glaives
allows
are
you to
nice
do,
as well,
John.
aren't they? Because they're elf bonus.
yeah.
Yeah.
And it's if they do start to die as well, then you still have natural fight 5. Boromir
Yeah.
doesn't have to be as careful with his positioning. Obviously, you still need the banner where you need it, but like, yeah, it just makes things a bit easier to manage, I guess.
Yeah, the main thing it means you've got your 28 block of men and then Boromir can run off murdering anything without having to like stay where the troops are if he needs to go and try and kill a Witch King.
Exactly what Jay did to me at unnumbered tiers.
He bested us both.
Yeah.
I'm on the event.
This, I think, if we're thinking of sort of the meta, this beats my Witch King Sally list. But I would argue that Farmer and Rawson's Pits has a good time against this. What do you think?
Models. I think it probably does as well, considering Leggy isn't going to be able to kind of take out the Warg very easily. He can 2+
Not for a good
Azog.
3 turns.
Yeah, he can 2+ Azog.
Best outcome, it takes 3 turns to kill the White Warg.
Yeah. Azog does wound Azog's strength 5 base. So he's wounding the Phantom Court on 5s, which is pretty good. And
Azog's free heroic combat charges, annihilates the Phantom Court Guard. If he kills 4 Phantom Court Guard in the first turn, you're at a massive model disadvantage.
Yes, I was going to say, what if you compare this to like a pure Halls of Thranduil list? Why is this better? Is it just because of the D7?
James, come on in.
I don't know if it is personally, as someone who loves running Halls of Thranduil at
Whoa!
650 points, but
Would you be taking
you do get
if you were going to?
I probably, but I may also not.
Granddaddy himself.
But you do get a 6-inch banner and a 15 block of D7 Fearless Guys, which is another 3 might on top of it, which is pretty nice.
Yeah, but Thranduil gives you obviously the wounding bonus, and
It does, and the dismay,
Terror.
the dismay,
and the Nature's Wrath, but I don't know.
This just
It's just different.
It's different, yeah.
The only slight pitfall I can see this list falling into is just rolling 6s against D6, because it's got no killing power.
Yeah.
It's a really good grinding list, but it also does a little bit rely on rolling 6s to wound if you're playing D6.
Definitely. Or Boromir calling combats for using his might.
Yeah, Boromir is big, but if you had a Witch King and a Mouth of Sauron, for example, and Boromir does nothing for the game, and you roll enough 6s, I don't know. We shall
then you're
certainly
ignoring
find
Legolas,
out.
and you're probably losing your Witch King.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not even only about 2+ing leaders as well. It's like being able to get rid of the horses or whatever of your opponent's really big threats as well early. Is obviously going to reduce their killing power quite a lot. Depending on the list, but
they roll a natural 6 on their Throne Rider, which Jay did to me at unnumbered tiers as well.
Clearly, it was Jay's event. We won't mention what happened to Shagrat, but he knows.
The quad
He
6.
fucking knows.
Why?
I'm still angry.
Show me on the Shagrat where Jay touched you, Ash.
Let's just say he had 5 Rivendell dice and rolled 4 Rivendell 6s.
Love that from Jay. But I mean, he did very well with, like you said, Ash, the bulk of this list was what he just won unnumbered tiers with. So, he obviously feels confident with it. Because he's looking for another 100 points to get back in the mix. So we'll see how he gets on. I'm sure he'll do very well. Next up, we have, I've totally kind of done these in the wrong order because now we're meant to go onto our list, but we have another list to talk about, which is the Isildur one that we foreshadowed earlier. So it's a Last Alliance sort of list led by Isildur on his horse with the shield and the ring. He's leading 7 Warriors of Numenor with Spear Shield, another 4 with Bone Spear. Then from Rivendell, he's allied in a High Elf Captain with Horse, Lance and Shield, 6 Elves with Shield, 2 with Spear and Shield, 1 with Banner, Spear and Shield, and 2 Rivendell Knights with Shield. And then he has Círdan, of course, leading 2 High Elf Warriors with Shield and another 4 with Bone Spear for 31 models, 6 might. James, as our Last Alliance connoisseur, what are your thoughts?
So I've was either 50-50 taking this list if I was going to go to the event, but I would have swapped out the captain personally for Eristor. Because, I mean, especially in something killing leaders, having an Eristor is very nice.
Like 6 striker.
Rerolling all wounds. He can easily slap someone about. Whereas, I don't know, captain's nice to have March. You've already got Círdan, which kind of prevents the need for March in this list. But at the same time, Isildur is brilliant for this sort of event because you can just Enchanted Blades, put on the ring, and kind of slap any leader about.
Who's
Yeah.
the leader in this? Isildur.
Yeah. And the captain as well, like if he manages to run around on the horse all game, he can do a shit ton of damage, but then he could also just play leggy and then he's just on his bum and then he's sad. You know.
Yeah, Isildur do be very good in this. Very, very, very good.
Very good.
I think there's definitely a trend with a lot of the lists. It's kind of stating the obvious, but having like a block of kind of good quality, really dependable troops, like whether it's kind of elves with the Fountain Court Guard, like in Jay's list, or this list, or kind of the Mordor Serpent Horde list, it then allows, because that list and this list can do it as well, because the elves and the Númenóreans they're gonna win a decent number of fights, they're gonna die slowly. That kind of allows Isildur to kind of go off and do kind of tricks and mess around with your opponent. And it's
that's kind of how the design of it works. So you just got to kind of hold your own with your block of troops and then use your tricks to shut down the other people's heroes, really.
I think that is definitely a winning formula. You've seen it, Ash do it and Dave do it. Like, it's having that dependable, and it's kind of contrasting something like Bondor, the Mordor Serpent Horde, to Angmar. The Angmar orcs just die and aren't good enough at kind of holding up to then allow kind of the tricks, which may be better quality in Angmar, like Gullivar, to go and do stuff. Whereas something like this list, you've got the good enough quality warriors to allow Isildur the freedom to kind of go off and do stuff, especially buff with Círdan. And Círdan's just a massive force multiplier, probably one of the best force multipliers in the game, isn't it?
Círdan makes this list up to realistically 40 models in a line fight because you're getting so much value from him.
Yeah.
This list is very scary. I would be very terrified to play against this. If you were coming, James, you would do very, very well with this. Isildur's perfect at killing leaders. He's perfect at also not being killed.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. If you get in a situation you're not playing against the Wraith, you can literally never die.
Yeah.
Game?
Like my list only has 39 models, but 9 of those are trackers, and you've got 31 warriors of Númenor and elves with Awe of Command and 2 Rivendell Knights.
Yeah.
If you had Eristor as well, you'd actually have.
Yes, I would have 32
32
models in mine. Yeah.
Yeah, this is scary. Do we know whose list this is? I'll find it quickly. Longshank, so we can shout them out for writing a lemon list.
This would be a pretty lemon list for the event.
This could be up there in the lemon tier.
Nearly read the rules pack as well.
Sam's about to come and shit down on it. It is by Jeptenberg.
Shout out
Jeptenberg.
Shout out to Jeptenberg. He hasn't got a team yet.
Oh, let's sign him up.
Let's swap him with Ollie.
We might have a spot. Yeah, Ollie Martin getting booted.
He's our best player.
Heard it here first.
What's the shape of Italy?
We'd never do anything like that on any heroics.
What's to do with the ball?
What about you, Sam? Are you scared to play this? Because I know your list is coming up soon, but what do you think?
I don't really know, to be honest with you. It definitely is scary because of Isildur. This is where the fella plays his first game and rolls 1-1-1.
Yeah, if you do what like I did at GBHL last year and failed 9 ring checks in a row, you do just lose games.
If he rolls a 1 on his ring check all the time, he's a sad man.
The 9 Witch Kings also go, oh.
Didn't happen once at unnumbered tiers.
Yes, because there's like 80% good lists.
Didn't happen once at number tiers, James.
Perfect.
That is typical for me.
The captain's definitely good. I do
That's
like
why he came 5th.
Fourth, my guy.
Fourth.
Or some would say third.
Some may say
Ooh.
third.
Luckily, Mr. Patterson clarified that for contest, so there'll be none of that behaviour.
No.
Continue, Samuel.
Would you the bow and spear Numenor warriors?
I would trade them for just spear and shield.
Yeah.
I've tried a lot using the bows and spears. They're not worth it. You just end up with D4 models that kind of are way easy to target. The bows aren't effective enough. That's what the elves are there for.
Yeah.
Better off just having the stronger line.
That's the only thing I'd say. But I do like the list. I did see this and thought it's pretty scary for 31 models and all those three heroes.
The toys.
Yeah.
It's good. Okay, so moving on next. I'm hoping this is going to be the Sam or Ash's list. Yes. Okay. Obviously, just moved Jay's by mistake before. So yes, we on to Sam's list. Do you want to take us through it?
Yeah, sure. So
She says no.
We'll move on.
Cool.
No, next.
once again, I am taking a Survivors of Lake Town, and I've got Halls of Thranduil this time. So I've got Bard as my leader with Alfred and Sigrid Tilda. Then got 3 Lake Town with Shield, 4 Lake Town with Bow Spear, 5 Lake Town with Shield Spear in his warband. And then I've got a captain, 4 Lake Town with Shield, 3 Lake Town with Bow Spear, and then Legolas, classic, on horse, with 8 elves with Shield, 4 elves with Bow and Glaive, 1 cavalry with Shield, and then a Sentinel. So 39 models in total. 7 Lake Town militia bows, 5 elven bows, and then Legolas is 3 shots or 2+, and Bard's potentially 3 shots. So it does have a fair amount of shooting.
Pew pew.
Quite a bit of it is strength 3 minimum.
Obviously that's 14 bows, but 2 of those are Bard and Leggy.
Yeah. It's got Sentinel for the low courage stuff that you can just mess around with. Essentially, it's a fight 5 D6 front line with the 8 elves, and then you can have a few of the militia shield in amongst it with a fight 5 spear support with a 12-inch banner from Bard, and you win a lot of fights.
You definitely do.
Shoot a lot with the bows you have, and I mean you are strength 3, but you've got Bard free combat to punch holes where you need to. Legolas, as we've reinstated, is good for this event as not your leader, because killing horses, 2+ing leaders, it's pretty good. And it's 8 might plus the cat plus Alfred, so 11 might. It's pretty good.
I'm thinking of a scenario, Sam, where you play Ali and you just decide to 2+ Theodred and you roll 2, 6, 6, and then Ali fails his fate and has already spent a might point on something and just instantly dies.
That would never happen to Ali though, because
that would never happen to Ali.
We on about Ash.
To be fair, at Bicester, we were playing Assassination and Ali rolled 1-1 on my target and ran away and lost the game. So he does get unlucky.
Pretty
I've
typical.
never seen it ever.
But yeah,
maybe
Legolas
just
is too...
your luck instead.
That's true.
Yeah,
that's true. I did make him. Yeah,
that totally is.
I infected him. I just think this. Yeah, I really like this list, Sam. I think. Let's give you a shout out. You came second at this event last year, so you're aiming for one
When
better.
bears were OP though.
Bears were OP.
Bears weren't OP, bruv.
No one knew how to properly beat them at the time.
At the time.
This is to be fair, I say this every event, but I hype you up anyway. This is a podium worthy list. Can you become a podium worthy player?
I think this is like there's definitely some lists which on the Longshanks which I think do I beat that? Is that how well does that match up into me? And I just don't really know. Like the pits lists, I can definitely shoot the shit out of. And they can lose quite a few Hunter Orcs before combat, and
depending on the scenario, of course.
Yeah.
But also the Hunter Orcs, I really think you do beat Pits because it's your 12-inch banner with the elves. You just win all the fights, and it doesn't matter that you're only strength 3 everywhere
Because you've
because
got and
the
you've
Hunt
got
Orcs
equal model
just
count as
get
well.
Yeah.
clapped.
Especially like Rawson's build of Hunter Orcs. He's gonna kind of wrap around, right? And you're gonna end up with militia fighting 1-on-1 without kind of that elf backing them up or them backing
But
the elves up.
They may have 2 dice, but Sam's also got 2 dice because he's got a 12-inch banner, and
Yeah.
they're wounding each other
Sam
both.
will be outnumbering them as well because he'll have killed a fair few from shooting. So
He'd have killed a lot from shooting.
It's like I see argument for all the elf bows going on to Azog or with the it's D5, so it's 5 on him and the
No,
Bob.
you do it. Yeah. But like, I guess if it's a scenario where you can get even 2 turns of shooting, yeah, you probably win. But if it's one where you start on the 24, say, and you have to fight straight away, yeah. it
I
could go
even
either
don't
way.
think I played Sam in Chippenham with in an 800-point version of this list, and I won because I was able to compel Gloin and kill him. But in the actual line-on-line fight, the 12-inch banner with the elves is so strong because you just win so many fights with 3 dice. You've basically got 3 dice everywhere, and you'll fight 5 everywhere.
Yeah. No,
It's like the
true.
Dragon Emperor, isn't it? The Dragon Emperor.
This is
just winning
basically
fights.
this is basically Dragon Emperor, except we've got a Bard with super might and Legolas with super pew pew. One thing that is classic Sam though, James, I had to convince him to take a Sentinel in this list because he wasn't going to, because he was going to take 40 models. Isn't that a bot play?
that would have been a bot play.
39.
Yes.
If it was 38, I could see the argument for him wanting.
Elliot, you love an
40.
even number more than you should.
I
It's
do.
not as
but-
big a deal
but-
as you think.
But 39, only having to drop 1 model and getting a Sentinel is mega good. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
You
think I
definitely
had-
get sense.
I think I had more Elves of Shield in the list with 40. I think I may have had.
I think you had 10.
I think I had 10 as well. So
There will be having the tools of a Sentinel
Yeah,
is
we-
just always
Well,
worth it.
Sentinels are way more valuable.
You're
Oh,
gonna
yeah,
have
yeah. Sentinels are definitely good. I'm not denying that. I guess I kind of thought I
Best
wasn't.
warrior in the game.
Yeah, I just
Go
thought
watch
I
that
wasn't
top 5.
Check out episode whatever it was, 5 or 6
Negative
ages
9.
ago, wasn't it?
James knows. James, is it actually 9? That is 11.
I don't know. That'll be 11 if it is, though.
That's nice.
that'd be pretty extra legitimate, to be fair.
Actually, legitimate.
No, but Sam, I like this list. Yeah, the fact that Bard is a 12-inch banner to the elves as well is pretty nuts.
I'm
I think
rooting.
it's
7, James. You're a little bit out there.
Oh,
I'm rooting for you,
You've
Sam.
You've got loads of
Yeah.
experience with Bard, Sam. How
You'd love a
squishy do you
Bard.
find him with kind of
What squishy you say?
as in is he ever a kind of he's defense 5?
Oh yeah, this
got
man
quite a
can
fragile
totally.
horde.
Yeah,
Hordes, like
you can whiff against warriors and just take 2 wounds for no reason. It's like, oh,
Yeah.
okay. I mean, it's not ideal, but we move. If he does get compelled, he's dead. So you do have.
I wonder
to,
who's done
The
that
tournament
many
where you
times.
lose TPs.
Yeah, it's like if you do whiff with your will and you get compelled in a bad spot, he's dead. The
I
kids.
guess sorry.
Look, as you say, the kids can be a bit of a linchpin when it comes to like assassination and those ones, because it's just really easy to kill them.
Yeah.
Especially with Legolas. Like Alfred is prime. Your D3
Yeah.
shoot you. The amount of times I play Jane, and it's like
The best
okay.
one's when you forget to use his will at the start of the game
Actually,
as well.
I'm deploying against James. I go, okay, I need to spend Alfred's will here because James is just going to 2+ him and kill him first time. All right. Priority, and then I just forget to say that I'm going to spend will. And I'm like, oh my god.
And it
And then-
fails to fight every time. It's great.
Yeah. And it's like, okay.
Gerbil said no to the take back.
But I don't
No,
want to take
I
it
always
back.
say yes, and Sam goes,
Yeah.
no, it's my mistake.
Yeah,
which
don't
I
want
respect.
to become an idiot.
That's
It's
the
one of
that's
the
the
reasons
correct
I
sporting thing
stopped
to
using
do.
Cardish because it's like it just stops you forgetting stuff
Yeah.
before priority.
3rd place in the league right there, guys.
Skill
And
captain.
also the
Sam,
mouth
you-
is the best.
Sam, you've used pretty much every combination with Lake Town. What would you say is your favorite? So you've used Lake Town Dwarves, done Lake Town Elves, you've done Lake Town.
I'm going for
What
the
is your
full shebang. I've
favourite?
I've gone for survive like Bard Thorin, Bard Dane dwarfs, Bard Dane or Bard Dane Legolas, and then now Bard Legolas. I've gone for everything. I definitely do like the elves, because it's just 5/5, and like the dwarfs fearless is good when you have Dane, but I think it's just Legolas as well. I just can't see myself not taking him because he's so.
It
OP.
also gives you access to the cavalry as well, which is really nice.
Yeah, like the goats are good, but they're 20 points for, and they can knock. The knockdown's really good. The strength 4 with the +1 is totally.
Crime those goats aren't D7.
They're D7. I'd probably take. Yeah, they're way more.
I bet they would be a little bit busted if they were D7.
Well,
they're
the goats being D7.
The goats 1,000%.
No, not the actual goat,
D7.
the rider.
Sorry. Oh yeah,
The rider. The rider.
Yeah, the rider should be
Nah, make
D7.
the actual
D7 goats. Is that what you meant?
No, I meant the
That's what he
goat
said,
riders should
D9
be
ball.
D7. They're D6, and then they just don't carry a shield for no reason, whereas every single other dwarf does. It
Yeah.
really triggers me, even though I don't take dwarfs.
Yeah. If anyone should
I
have
can't
it,
wait, Sam, to see you take all hero back to the 5 armies.
Sam's got the brain capacity for that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I would take that, but it'll be shit. That's all. You might as well take.
You got to take Bjorn and Gwahir and everything.
Oh, that's so
Yeah,
bad.
a whole lot.
It would be
Bard-
cool.
Bard the kids.
Angwar here.
You just have Bjorn to
Brandel
protect the
on
kids.
the,
It's like the kids would die instantly. It'd be awful. It would be funny.
This
Do not
is
condone child murder on the
There's the cold open.
wow, what a high bar. This is my favorite version of your Lake Town list so far, Sam.
I agree.
Just because, again, I've said it now 3 times. The 12-inch banner with the elves is really annoying to play because you just win all the fights.
I just have to
Want
hope
to borrow a display board, Sam?
I can do, mate. I mean, the Halls of Randall portion isn't painted by me, and the Survivors portion is painted by me, but I don't think it's
Painted by the best artisan in the West.
Yeah, come on.
Not using those contrast paints, Sam, like I've been telling you. John, are you an advocate of contrast paints?
I am. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan.
There we go.
Oh,
That's good advice from me, Sam.
Yes.
Told you. Sam, you've never even used one.
Yeah, I don't need to. And I'm that kind of a painter.
It's still a
Come
thumbs
on.
down. Good man, John. Love to hear that from you.
Contrast
yeah,
paints are for loser heads.
Any final thoughts on Sam's list before we move on?
It's gonna win the event.
Sam, sorry, did you even give your which in answer to Vince's question on which makeup of running it that you prefer? Sorry.
Oh yeah, I think I wouldn't take it without
You said the
Legolas.
elves.
Yeah, because Legolas is just so good.
Because yeah, you were doing it with the dwarves for a while, where you were doing like the double heroic combat. You did that for quite a while.
Yeah, that's
like
dwarves. Thorin is.
that was pretty good at 650, to be fair.
Yeah, it was just that your line would against Witch King Sully, your line would just not charge and would die. And
Playing
against
Ash so much has traumatized
But
you from
wasn't-
taking it again.
I mean, I have played Ash a lot of times.
But wasn't that the one?
I am a traumatic gamer.
Wasn't that the one
Yeah.
where you got the fearless at the front though with the Iron Hills?
That was
No,
at
that was
8.
with
If you take
Thorin,
Dane.
not Dane.
That was
Yeah.
800 with Dane.
Yeah.
And 750 with Dane.
Oh, sorry, because you don't get that with Thorin. Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely the elves. Elves
elves
portion,
away.
the Legolas is good, and the I mean having glaives and spear sporting elven blades is so good.
Yeah.
So good.
Loyal viewers, let us know in the comments below which of Sam's list is your favorite.
Yeah, I mean, we've looked at basically every makeup of Sam's lists over the
If
last.
there
like,
is a
6 months.
better
I hope
combination.
they comment like they did in the last video, where they just don't like Sam.
Sam's only just got rinsed by our fan base last step.
He's a terrible human being, to be fair.
Never
It's
getting
fine.
most sporting, even in the
He
comments.
has never won most.
I don't need it. I don't need it.
If you have ever played Sam and then voted for him as most sporting at an event,
Please let us know,
No.
because no one's ever found someone.
no.
Nah, trust.
And if you could come up with a better Survivors of Lake Town combination, also comment below so Sam can try that out at his next GBHL 100.
These will be stashed away next year. I've rinsed them.
Combination.
Rinsing.
I need a new
Right.
army.
Moving on then from Sam's list, we have last but not least, Ash's Witch King Sully. This looks familiar.
This-
Do you want
This
to run us through it?
may, or I shall, this may or may not have won the Pompey 100. So I looked on my notes, clicked copy, and then pasted into Longshanks. So yeah, it is the Witch King of Angmar with a crown and a horse. Because this army format builder that you use, Elliot, is pretty trash. It actually doesn't say my
Definitely not.
might,
It's
will, and
3-13-3, Ash.
It is. I've got it up on Longshanks, which is the superior way. So yeah, 3 might, 13 will, and 3 fate. I've then got 7 black nuns, 7 Moran and orcs. I've got 4 of my fateful trackers. I've then got the legend himself, the Mouth of Sauron, on an armored horse. 5 black nuns, 5 Morannons, 5 trackers. And then we've got Suladan with armored horse, most overpowered model in the game for his points. And then you've got 3 Serpent Riders, rounding out at a beautiful 18 models. Dol.
Only 18 models.
So
Oh,
you win 100 points, ladies and gentlemen.
jeez. It's been a long day. Sorry. Rounding out at a beautiful 39 models. Which means my breakpoint is 18, and Elliot is being upset because it's not an even number. So you've all played it, you all love it. Can you even be bothered to give any more thoughts in correlation to killing heroes? Killing leaders, and knowing that we're going to play Contest of Champions.
I'd like to know, Ash, whether you think, and this is more for me to learn, why you think this is better than the very, very different version that I was going to play, where you drop one of the Serpent Riders and a shield on a Morannon for 2 Haradrim Bowmen to get 1 extra model, 2 extra bow shots.
The reason why that is worse is because the Serpent Riders are so good for killing power. And when you use them correctly on the charge with the 3 dice, if you can get them within Saladin, they do the damage that you need. Having the 2 bowmen is nice. They're not going to really kill anything. I mean, they get your army bonus up a little bit, but the killing power from the Serpent Riders and the usefulness that they give you in something like recon or retrieval, it's very difficult to overstate how important having cavalry models are, and especially with the double march, they can fly across the board and win you games. So that's why I would always take a minimum of 3.
Recap for recon, for example, where you need to get 3 models off to get MVPs. That's really, really good.
Yeah.
And let's move on.
Yeah, good list.
If you want to see the in-depth analysis on this particular list, you can go back and see our
go to every other
or the
pod we've ever
Pompey
done.
100 event. But yeah,
There's
so
a reason
if we
why a
compare
carbon
this
copy is,
to the other 2 top lists, the
my
other 2 top players, how do you think it does against the Pits of Dol Guldur, which the first and second have thought
You so
is
just want
the
to
best?
flex on the fact this is a great
we
matchup.
talked about this in the
The
chat.
smug face.
But if you then lose to either of them, now we're going to
I could totally lose. I could totally lose to Pits of Dol Guldur.
Do you think, Ash, it's a good matchup in specifically Contest of Champions? Like you're playing Farmer or Jake for the win round 6.
Ooh, now that's a little bit more difficult.
Because I've been thinking about the matchup a lot before I dropped, because I was basically going to bring a carbon copy of this.
I don't think this is that's the only scenario I would say that Pitts is better, would probably win, is contested for the last game.
Yeah.
Why?
Because this list outkills all the Hunter Orcs, and it just needs to deal with Azog, and 2 transfixes and a Sat will do that. Azog will just be nullified for the game. However, if you lose, I guess you could transfix Azog with the Witch King, charge in, combat back out. I mean, maybe if I played it quite well, I could pull off a win.
Yeah.
But the risk of having the Witch King not be able to cast a spell means that Azog is very likely to not be transfixed with the resistance to magic, and then goes on a rampage and kills
I thought you
everybody.
just said that he would be nullified all game, though.
Yeah.
So I guess you could auto priority turn 1. Azog gets in a charge. He's got enough will to have that first turn free. He charges in, he combats, he gets 4 kills, and then you're suddenly massively on the back foot and having to play catch up with the Witch King.
What you
could
would do
leave-
there
Yeah.
is you would roll 2 dice with a Mouth of Sound to transfix and roll a 6, and then he would not roll a 6. And then you would do the same. You'd probably chuck like 3 or 4 will from the Witch King just to
Yeah.
transfix in that first turn.
It feels like it would be solely dependent on how good Azog's resistant rolls were. Because, I mean, you could easily catch up the kill count very quickly using the Witch King throughout the game
Yes.
if you're able to slow him down. It
You
just
need to
depends how good that resistant becomes.
Yes, you need to stop Azog, and then the last 2 turns you charge 2 Hunter Orcs, combat, and kill 4, because the Witch King, being fight 5 and strength 4, is gonna just, eat those for breakfast.
I
Not yet.
I think it's hard. I think you would lose in contest.
Yes, that's my initial analysis. Is that I would lose at contest specifically.
If
Unless you get a juicy bit of terrain and you can hide
That would be really good.
all 9 orcs like on a raise, like on top of one of Tom's.
Or you could do an
Tom's
Ashwagandha
ruin.
Classic and ruin his heroic combats with your lucky trackers.
That is another thing. If I could put 1 tracker in front of Azog and then take 8 shots, I mean, he'd auto priority, so we'd charge 2 Black Numbs, but then I'd still have 8 tracker shots to kill 2 Black Numbs, which,
Yeah.
It's
You've
pretty
done it before.
statistic. I've done it before. I have done it before.
Just roll
This is
Will
not-
Champions tiers.
This is not new territory we are in here.
Yeah, to win 100, you need to be incredibly lucky. So take that on board.
As you know.
But when we were talking about Jay's list, I think Jay's list is a hard counter to mine, and I think I would lose to Jay.
I think
Probably.
it's designed for that, really.
That's I was gonna say it's probably designed just to beat me because that makes sense.
And Jay usually has a pretty good run as well, or he's had a pretty good run against you lately.
I
He's
don't
just
think I've
good
ever
design.
beaten Jay. Not like I
He
think
really
Jay's
wants
beaten me.
that 3rd place back.
He wants his 3rd place back, and I think in the leaderboard now we're like 1.3 points difference, and I
Yeah.
haven't ever managed to beat him. I've managed to draw, but that was I'm very lucky again.
I think I'm
Only
1-1
been allowed
against
against
Jay. Undefeated versus Wulga.
It's true. We have had a draw.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lucky than good.
Switch King Sully, we know what it does, but you just gotta hope you don't play Farmer or Orson.
Recently featured in Harry Parkhill's article is this exact list.
Yeah.
Go check it out on the GBHL website if you have not seen.
Yeah,
I'm sure our keen viewers have though. Of course.
they will have.
Yeah. Okay, but that is going to do it. That is all the lists that we have. So Sam and Ash are going, and Jay, of course, this weekend. So fingers crossed, someone will come home with a podium. But John, thank you very much for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
If anyone doesn't know any heroics, I will be sure to plug their stuff in the description. Go check out their battle reports and all that sort of stuff that they get up to. But yeah, that's going to do it for this preview. So thank you very much, everyone, for watching another episode of the Gollum's Gamers podcast.
Yippee!